Hi, this is lesson 13.6, the law of cosines. So this is our last lesson for the year for Algebra 2B. So 13.6, law of cosines. So we'll start with what is the law of cosines. So we write it differently depending on what angles we're talking about. So notice in our triangle, you should already know how to label these. So if you're looking for a squared, well then that equals b squared plus c squared minus 2 bc times the cosine of a. If you're looking for b squared, that equals a squared plus c squared minus 2ac times the cosine of b. And if you're looking for c squared, that equals a squared plus b squared minus 2ab times the cosine of angle C. So I want you to notice the pattern here for each of these. If A is here, side A is over here, we're finding the cosine of angle A. If side B is here, we're finding the cosine of angle B. If side C is here, we're finding the cosine of angle C. And then the two sides that we don't use, B and C, they're both squared, and then it's minus 2 times BC. A and C are both squared, and it's minus 2 times AC. A and B are both squared, and it's minus 2 times AB. So notice the patterns there. Make sure you use it correctly. So looking at this first problem right here, I've got angle B, and across from A, this is A, and across from angle C, this is C. So we've got to decide what one we're going to use. Well, this is A, and this is C, and I have angle B, so I'm going to use this one right here. And that'll allow me to find side B. In this question, we're solving for the triangle, so we have to find every single side and every single angle. So let's start by using our law of cosines. So we're going to use b squared equals a squared plus c squared minus 2ac times the cosine of b. So we're going to keep this b squared equals a, which is 7 squared, plus c, which is 12 squared, minus 2 times 7 times 12 times the cosine of 26. So the way we simplify these is we're going to simplify them a couple steps at a time. We're going to simplify this piece, and we're going to simplify this piece right here. So if you simplify those, you get b squared equals 7 squared plus 12 squared. Well, that's 49 plus 144. So 7 squared plus 12 squared is 193 minus 2 times 7 times 12 is 168 times the cosine of 26. And we first, well actually now we can just put that into your calculator. So if you put that all into your calculator, you'll get b squared equals 42. And then to undo that squared sign, we're going to take the square root of both of these, and b equals, or it's about equal to, and we're going to round to 1 decimal place. So it's about equal to 6.5. And in this video, I'm going to just round to 1 decimal place for all of these problems. So we found b equals 6.5. So now let's find angle A. Okay, so now we're going to find angle A, and this is another way that you can use the law of cosines, is to find an unknown angle. So if we want to find angle A, then we're going to start with side A. So 7 squared equals, now we're going to do our other two sides squared, 12 squared plus 6.5 squared minus 2 times A times C, or 2 times 12 times 6.5. I'm running out of space here. And that's times the cosine of A, because angle A is what we're looking for here. So do a little simplifying. Let's simplify these a few pieces at a time. We're going to simplify this, we're going to simplify this together, and we're going to simplify this together. So simplifying those pieces, we get 49 equals 186.25 minus 2 times 12 times 6.5 is 156. And then we still have cosine A. So we first, to get A alone, we first have to move the 186. So we're going to subtract the 186 and 25/100ths. So we're going to subtract that from both sides so these cancel out. So I have negative 137.25 equals negative 156, don't forget that negative sign there, times the cosine of A. I'm going to move this up just a little bit so I've got a little bit more space here. Now we're going to divide by negative 156 because we are trying to get that A all alone. So I've got the cosine of A equals, now put this into your calculator, negative 137.25 divided by negative 156, and you'll get about 0.88. But keep that value right in your calculator. Don't round it. Keep that value right in your calculator. To get A alone, we're going to do the inverse cosine of both sides. So in your calculator, I want you to put the inverse cosine and then of the answer. So if you hit second, and usually it's the negative sign. So you do inverse cosine and the second and the negative sign for your answer. And you'll find that A is about equal to, and we're going to round to 1 decimal place. A equals 30.8. Oops, not 30.8. I'm looking at the wrong one here. It's 28.4. So A is 28.4 degrees. So my A, I'll put it right in here, 28.4 degrees. Now the only thing I'm missing now is this angle C. I've got all 3 of my sides. I've got 2 of my angles. I need my third angle. And keep in mind, these 3 angles have to add up to 180 degrees. So finding that third angle is really, really easy to do. So to find our third angle, which is angle C, that equals 180 minus the 2 I already know, so minus 26, and subtract 28.4. And that's going to equal 125.6 degrees. So this angle is 125.6 degrees. So we have now solved our triangle. We have found all 3 sides and all 3 angles. We are all set. Well, let's look at the bottom problem here. So now we're going to solve when we know 3 sides. So we know all 3 sides. We have to find our angles. So we're going to have to use our law of cosines twice to find our 2 different angles. And then we can just find the third one by subtracting from 180. So let's start by finding angle B first. So I'm going to find angle B. So angle B, that's what we're looking for. So if I want to find angle B, I have to have the side B alone first. So 13, that's B because it's across from angle B. So I'm going to say 13 squared equals, now I'm going to do my other 2 sides squared, so 9 squared plus 7 squared. And I subtract 2 times 9 times 7. And then I do the cosine times the cosine of angle B, because that's what I want to find. Now remember, we're going to simplify these a couple pieces at a time. We're going to simplify this, we're going to simplify this piece, and we're going to simplify this piece. So let's simplify those first. If you put it into your calculator, you should get 169 equals 130 minus 126. times the cosine of b. And remember, as I go about doing these problems, you should be putting them into your calculator, making sure you get the correct answers. So the first thing we need to do, we're trying to get that b all alone, so the first thing is to move our 130. So we're going to move that by subtracting it from both sides. So these two cancel each other out. I have 39 equals negative 126 times the cosine of b. I now need to move that 126, or negative 126, and since they're multiplied, I'm going to divide. So I'll divide both sides by negative 126. So those two cancel. I'm left with cosine of b alone over here. And on the other side, I'm left with a decimal, and it's about negative 0.31. But keep that decimal right in your calculator. Do not round at all here. So to get b alone, I need to do the inverse cosine of both sides to make those two cancel out. Okay, so if you put into your calculator now and try this, you need to put in the inverse cosine and then do second and answer, because it'll do the inverse cosine of that entire decimal. And you should find that b is about equal to 108, and if we round to one decimal, because I told you we're going to round to one decimal place, one decimal would be 0.0. So we're going to put that 0.0 saying, yes, I rounded to one decimal, and it was 0. So b is about equal to 108 degrees. So I'm going to put my 108 degrees in my picture. Now we need to find the measures of angles A and C, so we'll start with finding angle A. We'll do this in another color just so it stands out a little better. So if we're going to find angle A next, A is the side that's going to be all alone. So across from angle A is the side that's length of 7. So we're going to do 7 squared equals 13 squared plus 9 squared minus 2 times 13 times 9 times the cosine of A, because A is what I'm looking for. And again, remember, we're going to simplify these a few pieces at a time first. We're going to simplify this and this and this to make sure that we're solving these correctly. So 7 squared is 49 equals 13 squared plus 9 squared. That's 186.25 minus 2 times 13 times 9. Oop, I looked at the wrong one. Let me erase that. It's not 186. It's 250. Okay, so 49 equals 250 minus 2 times 13 times 9 is 234. And we still have the cosine times the cosine of A. So we first move that 250, and we're going to move it by subtracting it from both sides. So 49 minus 250 is negative 201, and that equals negative 234 times the cosine of angle A. Those two things are multiplied, so to undo the negative 234, we now need to divide. So those cancel. I'm left with the cosine of A on the right side. And on the left side, if you put negative 201 divided by negative 234, you'll get about 0.86 in your calculator. And as I've said every time, keep that value in your calculator. We need to do the inverse cosine to get A alone. So we're going to use the inverse cosine to get A alone. So in your calculator, do the inverse cosine and then do second and answer so we get a more exact value. So you should find that A is about equal to 30.8 degrees. So angle A is 30.8 degrees. And then we have to find our third angle here. So our third angle, we're going to find angle C, and this is the easy one since we've already gotten 2. So we're going to do 180 minus 30.8 minus 108. So angle C equals 41.2 degrees. So angle C here is 41.2 degrees. So we have now found all three of our angles. We are all set. And let's look at the other side of your page of notes. Okay, so on this side it says use the law of cosines in a real-life application. Scientists can use a set of footprints to calculate an organism's step angle, which is a measure of walking efficiency. The closer the step angle is to 180 degrees, the more efficiently an organism walked. Find the indicated angle. The diagram shows the footprints for a dinosaur. So here's the angle that we're trying to find, and we know all three of the sides. So this is really just like the other problems we did. It's actually a little easier because we've got a little less to do. We're not solving for everything. But if this is the angle right here that I'm looking for, the side across from it is 316. So 316 is this number or the side that needs to be alone when we use our law of cosines. So it's 316 squared equals, now we do our other two sides squared, so 156 squared plus 197 squared minus 2 times the two sides we just used, 156 times 197, and then this is the cosine, and I'm going to use cosine D for dinosaur. Okay, now we simplify these one piece at a time, remember? We'd simplify this piece, and then this piece, and then this piece, so we're going to simplify those pieces. So 316 squared is 99,856 equals, this is 63,145 minus, and this is 61,464, and we still have that cosine of D. Now at this point, you should know how to go through and solve for D. So pause the video and try and solve this one on your own. Okay, you should have tried this one on your own, and doing this one on your own, you should get x is about equal to, or actually D, because I used D in this one, I wanted to use D for dinosaur, is about equal to 126.7 degrees. So if you did not get that answer, go back through, check your work, see if you can figure out where your mistake is. I want to be able to see your work tomorrow when we look at the notes. Okay, last thing that we're going to do for this video, for this chapter, for Algebra 2B even, our last thing here is Heron's area formula. Okay, Heron's area formula gives us the area of a triangle with sides of length A, B, and C. So here's a nice little formula. Area equals the square root of S times the quantity S minus A times the quantity S minus B times the quantity S minus C, but we got to know what S is. S equals half times the quantity A plus B plus C. So S is called the semi-perimeter or half perimeter of the triangle. So before we can use our area formula, we have to first find S. So let's do one of these problems. So first of all, we're going to find S. So number 4, it says a zoo. A triangular path around an exhibit at the zoo is shown by the area of the exhibit. So we want to find S. So S equals half times A plus B plus C. So times 92 plus 64 plus 130. Okay, we just do all the sides added up. So if you put that in your calculator, you should get 143. Now we want to find the area. So area equals the square root, make a large square root there, of S, which is 143. And now we do just the difference between 143 and each of the sides. So 143 minus 92 times 143 minus 64 times 143 minus 130. Okay, and notice where I put parentheses. When you put this into your calculator, when you put your square root in sign first, it'll open a parenthesis. So then you do 143 times and then put your parentheses, just like all of these have the parentheses, and then put one extra closing parenthesis at the end. So you should put this in your calculator, pause the video, and try it. Okay, you should get that the area is about equal to 2,736.8 feet squared. Okay, so if you didn't get that, try and put it in your calculator again. Watch your parentheses. We'll do one more of these together, and then I'll let you do number 6 on your own. I'll give you the answer and make sure that you can do it. So we first have to find S for number 5. So S equals half times the sum of all the sides, so 12 plus 10 plus 3.2. So if you do that, put it in your calculator, you should get 12.6. Now we want to find our area, so we'll use our formula. So area equals, we're going to do the square root of our semi-perimeter, so 12.6, and then we do times the difference between our semi-perimeter and each side. So times 12.6 minus 12 times 12.6 minus 10 times 12.6 minus 3.2. So put that into your calculator. You should get the area is about equal to 13.6. Pause the video and try number 6 on your own. Okay, if you tried this on your own, we should see work on your notes tomorrow. You should have found that S equals 123 and your area is about equal to 2,169.7. Okay, so this is the end of the last lesson here for Algebra 2B. Make sure if you have any questions, you start them so that we can talk about them in class. Make sure you know how to use your calculator, and have a great day.